Okay, it's time to do it. Woo. Colleen, are you ready? She gets to be first.
Woo. Yay.
So a couple, for all of the panelists, I didn't get to prep a couple of you. There's a puck microphone. Colleen has,
I'll be fan this time.
she's going to model this for you, but this is the appropriate way to wear the puck microphone. If you don't have a collar, hold it today. This microphone is going to be for the audio that's projecting. This one's for the video. Okay, Colleen, we have a 5-minute timer.
Great.
Amy Moy is going to give us a 1-minute warning. So she'll wave at you. So we're going to keep it 1-minute warning. So you can land the plane at 1 minute, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, I'm going to hand the microphone over to you. Introduce yourselves to us outside of the 5 minutes. So Amy, don't start the 5-minute timer until Colleen has told us who she is and what she does. Okay.
Okay, I like that.
Hi there. So I wrote some answers out because if you know me, I will go on a tangent. So if you see me looking down, that's all I'm doing. I'm just keeping myself on time. But I'm Colleen. I own Mindfully Nourished Wellness. I'm a functional nutritional therapy practitioner. And I focus on gut health, bloating, constipation, things like that. My focus group knows we talk a lot of poop in my group. But the reason for that is because our gut health is so intricately connected to the rest of our body. So I look at not only gut health, but the downstream effects of things like fatigue, hormone imbalances, mood, mental health issues, things like that.
Awesome. All right, I came up with some questions that I wanted to ask Colleen.
Thanks, Colleen. We'll share. About poop, really. Okay, so I'm just going to hit you with the first question. For people who may not be familiar, what exactly is functional nutrition, and how is it different from conventional approaches?
Yes. Okay, so functional nutrition is really getting to the why behind, I don't have to share. How about it? The why behind the symptoms. So conventional medicine, while we need it, it has its place. It's there to identify disease. Functional nutrition, functional health is looking at why that disease is happening in the first place. So that's what I do. I ask, why is this here? What is going on?
Why do so many women feel dismissed when they know something feels off, but they're told everything looks normal?
Well, history, first of all. Women have been notoriously dismissed throughout history. But this is honestly one of the biggest frustrations that I hear from women, and it was my experience as well. I spent probably about 12 plus years just being told everything was fine, everything was normal, no big deal, your symptoms are great, just live your life, and I was slowly dying. So most of the women that come to me, they know that they are struggling. They know that something feels off, but they're told bloating is normal, exhaustion is normal, particularly after we have kids. It's totally normal to be an exhausted, burnt out, pissed off mom, essentially. That's like totally normalized, right? So, and most of the standard tests that are run, especially we look at thyroid, TSH, everything looks great, right? But we're not looking deeper, and that's what most standard testing is missing, is it's looking again to detect a disease, not the underlying dysfunction. So that's where functional nutrition is really going to step up. Instead of looking at just a TSH, we're going to run a full thyroid panel. Instead of just an iron marker and say, yep, you're anemic, we're going to look at multiple different iron markers. So we're really digging deep with functional stuff, functional lab testing, functional nutrition, and not just like, what are you eating? What is going on in your life? How are you waking up, moving through your day, going to sleep? And what does the lab testing tell us? So it's the combination of all of these different things.
You talk a lot about lab testing. So why is testing actually important?
Because it gets you answers. And a lot of the people that come into me, they've guessed for a really long time. And here's the thing, we often say lab testing is expensive. Functional lab testing is expensive. It is much cheaper to take and spend the money on a functional lab test than guess. The women that come to me have spent tens upon thousands of dollars guessing. Random supplements, multiple specialists, right? They've gone down the gamut of all of these different kind of rabbit holes and spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. So when we look at things, functional lab testing is way cheaper in the long run, but it also gets you real answers, right? So we can say, oh, you're trying this random elimination diet, but your testing actually shows us this is what we need to do for a diet. you're experiencing fatigue and told you have chronic fatigue syndrome, but actually, and you're told you're anemic because of it, but actually it's something that's going on in your gut. And that's why your iron's struggling. So we can really see what's going on in terms of gut microbiome function, mineral balance, stress patterns, nutrient status, digestive function, all of these different things that standard labs miss. And that's why functional lab testing is so important.
So what does it actually look like to work with you? Like, what is your unique approach?
So one thing I didn't mention is I'm also a licensed clinical social worker, so I do clinical therapy as well, and I joke with people, when you come to me for nutrition, you also get a dose of therapy on the side. My background is unique because of that, and food, we think of nutrition and we think of food, there's a very big emotional connection there, and oftentimes the struggle that we have is we need that lifestyle support, we need that therapeutic background support. So I'm looking at both sides, what's going on from the functional lab testing, your physical symptoms, but also from a mental health standpoint, what is going on, and then we blend that all together.
Awesome. Well, Amy gave us the 1-minute warning, so I'm going to hit you with the last final question I have for you, which is, what is one thing you wish everyone understood about their health?
Your symptoms are not random. That's the biggest one. I think you don't have to push through, you don't have to accept that your lab work looks normal and you feel like garbage. You can actually get a different answer and find a different approach.
Thank you. Yeah.
I need my hardware back. All right, our next panelist, Jennifer Parker.
Yeah, are you comfortable? You good?
Yeah.
You gonna get the wiggles out? Come on. You got this. So I like to make sure everyone in the room understands we can be really good at what we do, but have a hard time talking about it, right? Especially in front of a room full of people. So I try to make it as comfortable as possible by not hitting you with questions that are too hard, but I also want everyone to know how fabulous you are, okay? So why don't you tell everyone who you are and what you do, and then I'll hit you with questions.
Okay. Jennifer Parker. I'm the owner and nurse practitioner at UFirst Health and Wellness, and I've been a nurse practitioner for about 5 years, and I've been in the medical field for about 15 to 20.
Awesome. Well, here's what I most want everyone to know. Okay. What inspired you to start UFirst Health and Wellness, and what makes your approach different than traditional medicine?
So I created UFirst Health and Wellness because I was tired of always telling patients, no, like, you don't feel good, you're overweight, but there's no solutions. The insurance company is not going to cover that. I'm sorry, but this is all that they're going to approve, So I created UFirst Health and Wellness to have a different approach, patient-centered, about them, everything from, fatigue, stress, hormones, weight gain, burnout. Women and men both struggle with the same things. Women weren't as easily approachable to their providers, but I do focus on both men and women and their hormones. And so I created UFirst Health and Wellness for a safe space for you to come and feel like you can sit next to me like you're my friend and say, this is how I feel, this is what's wrong with me, like, nobody's listening to me, and we want to be the ones that listen.
I love this, sitting next to your friend. So you did speak about hormones and weight loss. So how are hormone optimization and weight loss treatments changing the way patients feel and function in everyday life?
So every day, people experience fatigue, and they're like, oh, it's okay, it's normal, like, you're working, you're a mom, you have kids, like, it's fine, just keep pushing through. And you get the burnout and you feel overwhelmed, like, I'm not supposed to feel this way. Everybody else is functioning just fine, and I'm over here struggling to wake up every day, to exercise every day, to eat right every day. And so hormone balancing is super important. It helps, figure out fatigue, symptoms like joint pain. You don't know, joint pain is related to hormones. And all of these symptoms you bring to your provider, and they just brush you off, and they're like, you're fine.
Like, you're just 40, you're 45, you're 50, it's because you're old. You know, those are always the things that we always said to patients, and it's not the right approach. So optimizing hormones really can help decrease stress, decrease weight loss, help improve mood, functionality in your life, and it just helps create balance and flow and keeps you motivated and feeling like a normal person.
Normal. Whatever normal is.
Actually, optimal is what we want. But
Let's normalize optimal.
Yes.
What are some of the biggest health concerns you're seeing with women today, and how can they take proactive steps to better their wellness?
So like I just said, so women struggle with burnout. They're working full-time jobs, or they're stay-at-home moms, or they're trying to get everybody's schedule coordinated. They're having the fatigue, they're not sleeping, and they're just feeling like super overwhelmed. So it's important for them to have a safe space to come and talk to somebody and make them feel heard. So we spend a lot of time together. My appointments are an hour long for their first visit, so I can sit with them. They can ask whatever questions they have, and sometimes at the first visit they don't have any questions. They're like, I don't know, let's just do the labs, let's see what's going on. And then when we do our follow-up visit, they get another 30 minutes to an hour to come and talk to me and sit and figure out what's going on, like, why am I feeling this way? And then I explain, we do a full panel. It's not like a basic panel. We're checking thyroid, we're checking hormones, we're checking vitamins, we're doing all the things so that we can make sure we're hitting all the markers that are making them feel the way they feel.
I feel like you're inside of my life, like you're spying on my life. And burnout and overwhelmed. So can you explain what direct primary care is? I know that that's something we're hearing a lot. So why is it becoming so valuable?
So direct primary care is a membership-based primary care. It is a connection between you and your provider. There's no middleman, there's no insurance. So patients come to you for primary care. Obviously, it's not for specialists or emergency care, but it gives them an insight of daily treatment. They have unlimited visits, sick visits, virtual visits, discounts on medication, services, different stuff like that. It's especially good for small businesses who can't afford to provide traditional health insurance for their their employees. But it helps provide them a benefit. So if they're sick, they're not calling out because they're coming in and being seen right away. They're getting medication, whatever services they need immediately. So it keeps production going in your business.
That's a very important distinction. So I know Amy gave us the warning, so I'm going to hit you with one final question. What advice would you give to someone who feels off but has been told that they're normal?
So if you're feeling off, listen to yourself. You need to be your own advocate. Most of the providers are so busy rushing you through a system because they have to see so many patients a day. So definitely advocate for yourself, and always reach out and find somebody who has the time, who can sit with you and listen to you and not make you feel unheard. It's super important to feel heard and to advocate for yourself, and you shouldn't have to feel normal. We should all feel well and optimal.
Thank you. Woo. Come sit, my friend. There's a picture behind us. Okay. It's perfect. Do you like it? Are you comfortable with it? Are you a hand? Do you do this a lot?
No, but I do talk with my hands, but I think I can leave it alone.
Okay, all right.
We'll try.
Perfect. Well, why don't you tell everyone who you are before I get you with the questions.
Okay, well, I am Jennifer Cochran, and I am a dual certified nurse practitioner. I have been in the healthcare field for over 30 years. I have been a nurse practitioner for over 10, so I've been prescribing medications and practicing medicine. During COVID, I went back for my mental health certification, so I became a psychiatry nurse practitioner. That's been about 3 years, and during the evolution of my business, I have actually said I'd become a mental health strategist.
Love it. Well, mental health strategist. A lot of people normalize stress, burnout, anxiety, emotional exhaustion, because they think it's just part of being an adult, right? I know you're like, yes, I can't wait to tell you about it. So what are some signs that someone may actually need professional support, even if they are functioning in the day-to-day?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that if you are functioning, so you are going to work, you're taking care of your family, you're running your business, and you feel like I must be okay, quote unquote okay. But in reality, if you dig a little deeper and you look for symptoms, a lot of us that are high functioning in this room are actually running very depleted. And what does that look like? That looks like increased irritability, it looks like sleep disruption, difficulty with concentrating, loss of motivation, loss of joy, or feeling on edge, and also the reliance on substances. So caffeine to bring us up and keep us going in the morning, and in the evening, maybe alcohol, maybe cannabis. And so using that up-down stimulation is actually disrupting your nervous system. One of the biggest key things is that if you're not able to reset, so if you have a long weekend like we just had, or you go on vacation, and you go back to work and you're automatically exhausted, it's time to look deeper.
Okay, thank you. As a psychiatric nurse practitioner, what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about mental health treatment and medication management, as you just touched on, that you wish more people understood, really?
Yeah, medications are, kind of a hot topic. People feel very strongly one way or the other, and that's for good reason. I think sometimes people push medications on folks when, again, they should have just gotten to their root cause. So I don't want to give someone Prozac when they need estrogen or testosterone. So digging a little deeper, but also not being afraid to go to the right provider, someone who's going to give you tailored care. And medications may be needed, but also it may look like a full treatment plan that includes therapy, it includes sleep hygiene, lifestyle modification, nervous system regulation, labs and nutrition. I think you guys are going to hear a lot of overlap, because even though we are all very individualized, when it comes to taking care of body, heart, mind, soul, we do see that overlap.
I'm glad you touched on that, because as I was creating questions for each individual person, I was like, I know I'm asking the same thing to 8 different people, but it matters so much in your specific profession. So yes. So you work with many professionals, entrepreneurs, high-functioning adults. Are you seeing more people discovering later in life challenges like ADHD and the gamut there? And kind of, like, how could that,
That's a yes.
I'm laughing, but I'm like, I know that I'm hearing it a lot just from my friends. And so people who seem to be functioning in the real world, operating day to day and all of that.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And there's multiple reasons for that, but we are having more nuanced conversations and discussion around neurodiversity. First of all, we didn't know these things 20 years ago that we know now, and a lot of people have just masked symptoms. Historically, and typically women, they don't present always as that hyperactive kid running up and down, the walls. We're inattentive, we are daydreamers, so later in life, let's talk about that. Again, we were speaking on hormones. So as your hormones drop, your estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, your neurotransmitters drop, and your neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, those are responsible for anxiety, depression, and cognitive load. Okay.
No, you didn't have to stop. I just wanted to we're going to land the plane.
We're going to land the plane. Go
okay,
for it.
Cool. So I have 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
We'll speed through them.
Okay, do that. Okay.
All right. Many people wait until they're in crisis before seeking help. What can you say about that?
Don't. So let me give you a quick example. So let's say you have a toothache, a gumache. You may do some ibuprofen, saltwater gargles. If it doesn't feel better, you make that dentist appointment. You don't wait until your tooth falls out. So please come see me, come see a good psychiatric mental health provider before you get to that crisis point. So that self-examination, again, am I irritable? Am I sleeping? All of those symptoms that we spoke on. Come see us sooner rather than later. It's self-care.
So my last question for you is centered around something that I hear people say a lot. You know me, I know you. I may not want to come tell you about all my problems, or I may rather suffer quietly than divulging all of this to someone that I know, like, and trust. What do you say to that?
I'm just like you. I have actually most of the same issues. Again, my kids are neurodiverse. I'm neurodiverse. So sometimes that commonality actually breaks the ice. And of course, I'm bound by HIPAA, so nobody knows you're my client. But you don't have to earn the right to ask for help. And if you do feel comfortable with someone, please just come check it out.
I love that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll give you time to get that. I know you're wearing like a high collar today. Where are those for you? Okay, let's get your beautiful picture behind you. All right, there she is. That's me. That's you to the side. All right, tell us who you are and what you do. I can't wait for everyone to hear about this.
Hi everybody, my name is Chelsea Barnett. I am a licensed mental health counselor and I'm the owner of Resilient Mind Counseling and Coaching. I work primarily with like anxious, high achieving individuals, adults who struggle with like perfectionism, overthinking, people pleasing, overwork kind of stuff. And most importantly, people who struggle with confidence and feel guilty like choosing themselves. I really take a holistic approach to mental wellness that focuses on the connection between the mind and the body. I specialize in walk and talk therapy, which incorporates movement into the healing process in a very natural way.
I'm going to do something really quickly, and this is not in jest. I'm not making fun of anything, but who like felt that in their soul when she just talked about like who she helps? Yeah, I was like, I can think of at least 10 heads in this room that are like, yeah, that's me. So I'm glad you're here and you're going to tell us about what you do. Do you mind if I hit you with some questions?
Oh, please do it. Hit me.
What are some signs of stress or that stress or anxiety may be affecting someone even if they appear high functioning?
Well, I know Jen touched on this. I like as you were talking, I was like, oh wow, there's gonna be a lot of overlap here. Me and Jen work very closely together. We refer back and forth to each other because we are so similar in the population that we work with. She's great, by the way, guys. One thing, like Jen said, that I think surprises people is that anxiety, when people feel stressed and overwhelmed, it's more so like they're still showing up for the responsibilities. They're still showing up to work. They're kind of in this productivity mode where they're like, go, 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 like they force themselves to keep going. That's one side of it, right? Obviously you can have like the withdrawal and like the more social inclusion and things like that too, but a lot of the overachievers, the high functioning anxiety, that's what they do, is that they keep showing up. They have difficulty saying no to others. Just feeling like they always have to be on. A lot of people become so used to operating in stress mode that they don't even realize how disconnected that they feel from themselves. Until their body starts speaking for them. So like they start feeling fatigue, irritability, poor sleep, headaches, GI issues, brain fog, emotional burnout, all of those things, which I'm sure a lot of us all feel, myself included. Stress and anxiety doesn't just affect our thoughts, it affects our nervous system, our body, our relationships, and our overall quality of life.
Check, 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 and check.
Yes.
So how are mental and physical health more connected than people realize?
Okay, I have a question for you guys. Have you ever had a really terrible night of sleep? And then, yes, right? Everybody?
Every night.
And, well, you should talk to somebody about that.
I'm in the right room.
Yeah, you're in the right room. Had a terrible night of sleep and you wake up and you are bombarded with like emails or like someone's coming in the room and they're like, hey, like you need to do this, you have responsibilities, you know? And you instantly feel irritable or overwhelmed, you're emotionally reactive. That's just the perfect example of how like your mental and physical bodies are connected, right? Like you have brain fog, you can't focus, you're emotional reactive. That's why during intake sessions, my clients always ask me, they're like, why are you asking me health questions? You're a therapist. But I ask my clients, what does your eating habits look like? What does your sleep hygiene look like? What does your exercise routine look like? What medical history, stress, hormones, have you gotten any of those tested? Because symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, irritability, difficulty concentrating, there's a huge overlap between mental health and physical health. And unfortunately with mental health, we can't, it's kind of like we have to rule out the physical health to determine like, is this a physical health issue or is this a mental health issue? Because they're so similar. So we can't separate the mind and the body as much as people think that we can. Chronic stress eventually impacts sleep, digestion, mood, energy, overall functioning, which is why I choose to take like a more holistic approach whenever I do therapy.
Perfect. Well, Amy gave us the 1 minute warning, so I'm going to hit you with my final question, which is, you mentioned you walk and talk, so why is movement such an important part of emotional wellness?
Movement is incredibly regulating for the nervous system, which can positively impact those things like mood, stress, concentration, sleep, everything, which is the reason why I specialize in walk and talk therapy. I found that some people process emotions more naturally while moving instead of sitting face to face like in a traditional office setting. Walking side by side takes the pressure off. More clients feel relaxed, they feel like they can open up, they feel more emotionally regulated. People who already feel so overwhelmed, anxious, restless, overstimulated, movement can really help the body like feel unstuck and your emotions feel unstuck.
So you walk and you talk with your clients.
Yeah, it's great.
Around Pasco.
Yeah, I do it in St. Pete. I'm there once a week, and then in Trinity twice a week at different parks, and I just meet people in public. It's really great as long as you don't mind like confidentiality. Obviously, I can't promise confidentiality when we're in a public space, but it's really great for just like moving, especially for people that don't take the time to like do the exercise and the movement. I'm like, hey, walk and talk. It's like perfect. You can 2 birds, 1 stone. But yeah, it's really great. Nature, the energy, the sun, it just helps mellow you out.
So you're making therapy fun.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Right, are you ready for your movement? I'll make some chairs. You want to attach them.
I have to apologize in advance. Kermit decided to join me here today, so I am going to do my best, though.
Get your slide queued up for you.
Oh, thanks. So I am Kate, National Board Certified Health and Wellness Coach and owner of KCL Wellness. And I help people to overcome and prevent chronic disease and to ease the symptoms of menopause all through lifestyle change. So you'll hear a lot today. All of us are holistic, which means that we take the entire body into consideration when we try to heal. So that's why you hear a lot of overlap. The thing that I do is I hold your hand to make lifestyle changes because lifestyle changes can be difficult. However, they're necessary for us to heal. So I too focus on gut health just like Colleen. I don't do any of the testing that Colleen does. I work with you after your testing is done, or if you decide not to have testing done, we can make certain assumptions based off of your symptoms because your symptoms are very loud and they're very clear. So when somebody has gut health issues, a lot of the things show up like with what Colleen was saying, digestive issues, bloating, trouble going to the bathroom. And again, poop is a big conversation to have. So it is important, it might be uncomfortable, but it is very important. So why gut health? Because keeping on the level of mental fitness, your serotonin is made in your gut. And if your gut is not functioning properly, your serotonin is not going to give you what you need in order to function without anxiety, without stress in your life. So gut imbalance really is the place where everything starts. Your health begins in your gut, and I'm a firm believer of that. So if you have gut imbalance, a lot of disease can start to occur there, and there's more information that I can give you in 5 minutes, so we'll just leave it there. So after gut health, the next important thing in my book is nutrition, and food is medicine. And the same way that you wouldn't give, chemotherapy treatment to somebody who had a simple headache, is the same way that we need to look at our nutrition. So synergistic eating is very important. What to pair together, what to understand what your body is maybe intolerant to. If you're eating foods that you're intolerant to and you don't know it or you're ignoring it, that really can cause gut issues because it can make the gut lining really thin, which then can cause other issues. And again, a lot to go into there, but your food really, you need to understand what it is that works for your body. Not every healthy food is good for you. People with a compromised gut really shouldn't eat raw foods. Why is that? Because when you think about the breakdown that the body has to go through when you're eating raw foods, all the fibrous elements that are in raw vegetables, and you think of the work that your body has to do to break that down, that really can put stress on your gut that you do not need. So understanding the right foods for your body is extremely important. Exercise, much like your walk and talk therapy, it's going to stimulate your, really a minute, wow. It's going to stimulate your lymphatic flow. It's really going to be important for you. So exercise really is a huge component of gut health. So I am going to skip down to sleep because a lot of us aren't sleeping right. We don't realize that our body is actually regenerating overnight. So starting around 9 o'clock, your body starts to get ready for bed. And if we are up scrolling on our phones or if we're doing other things, we're out late partying, and we don't listen to what it is that our body is asking for as we get ready to go to sleep, then we are going to throw it off balance. Our body starts to wind down, but we are winding up. So our cortisol levels are going to spike, and our melatonin levels are going to drop. So instead of the other way around. So if you want your body to regenerate properly overnight, get yourself a really great bedtime routine. You can start small. It doesn't have to be an overwhelming shift. Small lifestyle changes can really have a huge impact on optimizing your health, and you have control over it. So the thing that I do for my clients is I really help them to understand the control that they have in their life so that they can make those small changes and create optimal health going forward.
It moves so quick. It does. Thank you very much. Would you like to control your own slides, or do you want to tell me when to do the next slide? Because I'll tell you, if you tell me when to do the next slide, I can also video you. How about
I'll tell you.
Okay.
It'll, yeah, because I'm holding two things.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Carolyn Norton. I own Chrysalis Cosmetic and Restorative Dentistry. I've been a dentist for 12 years, but this is my first private practice on my own, and this June is actually our 1-year birthday. Oh, you can go to my first slide. So a lot of people don't know what a chrysalis is, and I want to explain because this is very important. If you're a worm, you build a cocoon and you come out as a moth and you go live in a sweater and die in a closet, okay? If you're a caterpillar, you build a chrysalis and you emerge as a butterfly. And that's a really big difference. So my office is a chrysalis to protect you and nurture you and guide you on your smile transformation journey. And I think, oh, you can go to the next slide. I think everyone you've heard speak today will agree with the fact that if you look good and you feel good, you show up differently in this world. You show up better for the people you love and better for yourself. So I have some really cool before and afters to show you of people who went on this trip. So the first patient on the left, so she went through Invisalign, and her name's Wendy, and she was just this tiny, quiet, meek girl. And every time I saw her for her checkup visits, she got a little bit taller, and her eyes opened a little bit bigger, and her voice got a little bit louder. And one of the greatest joys I have in my profession is seeing my patients transform through dentistry. Dentistry doesn't have to be scary. It can be, even just getting healthy can be life-changing. This man on the right, so he went through 2 things at my office. He went through deep cleanings, and then he went through whitening. So this is our most popular whitening option. It's called Core Max. This is only 2 weeks of whitening. And like, I don't edit these photos. I don't have time for that. I take them off my camera. I drop them right into PowerPoint. Like that, there's no editing happening here. So he slept with whitening trays every night for 2 weeks straight. And then he came in to do an in-office whitening visit. His wife did whitening now. This is like our most popular service because people just feel so good when they're proud of their smile. And he's just so, so happy. You can go to the next one. So these are really different cases. The woman on the right, so that's more of like a full mouth reconstruction situation, but she told me when I like cemented all of her porcelain, like this is the woman who literally sits in my chair and cries and says, I didn't know I could have a smile that looked like this. She just didn't know. And honestly, like sometimes it's a lot of work. She needed 2 root canals, a bridge, like a bunch of crowns, but it was just so worth it. There's something really popular in dentistry right now called minimally invasive dentistry. And some other words that go with that are like no prep veneers. But if you're practicing minimally invasive dentistry, it means you're trying to save as much natural tooth structure as possible. And the patient on the right, so he went through Invisalign and he had veneers. And the reason for this is because if we can set the teeth up in the perfect position and the perfect bite, then when you go and do veneers, you only have to take away a very little bit of tooth structure. And this patient, Garrett, he said, I want to save as much tooth structure as possible. So all his teeth that were like really close together and chipping, I moved them to correct the relationship. And then we were able to do, no prep veneers aren't like 100% a real thing, but like very, very little drilling on the teeth to do his veneers. So there are ways to do dentistry that just maximize preserving natural tooth structure, and I do that every chance I get. You can go to the next slide. Oh, and this is a beautiful before and after. So she actually came to me as a second opinion, and literally the guy across the street from me told her she needed 2 crowns and a bunch of fillings. And I said, actually, am I 5?
You're layer 1.
Okay, she said to me, or I said to her, Lauren, if you actually want to do this right, you actually need like 4 crowns and 4 veneers. So that's like a much bigger treatment plan. But she saw the vision. A lot of this stuff I work up, I plan out, like there's no guessing. We're 3D scanning everyone and measuring and like making dentistry predictable. And she said yes, and you can go to the next slide. And it's just so beautiful what you can see when the teeth are the right shape and size and in the right position. Like even her lips look better. Like I did nothing to her lips. We just made her teeth right. And we did it the right way. A lot of people have had dentistry that they're disappointed in or that fail, or they feel like they're in a Groundhog Day situation where they have to keep replacing work and get it done over and over and over again. But maybe you never got the right treatment to begin with. And so I always try and do the best thing for my patients because I want your teeth to last for as long as humanly possible. I want you to keep your teeth for the rest of your life. And I just get so much joy from giving my patients pride and confidence in their smile, and it's a really beautiful thing.
You're slow.
Oh, I know dentists aren't going to change the world, but I can change yours. Thank you.
We're going to do a little tech setup here.
Come on, Jennifer, we're on a time limit.
Stop. right here, Jorge.
Well, I was thinking I was going to show everybody a couple things, but I think instead of showing you some supplies, we should just give away some free Botox. Who wants Botox right now? Chelsea.
Where's the disclosure? 5 minutes.
Might as well, right? Who wants to see supplies?
Is this your first time?
Ready for me?
Well, I'm not going to start my 5 yet. Let me just say who I am because I need that 5.
Time's up.
Stop. I'm Jennifer Fleming, family nurse practitioner and owner of Beauty Aesthetics. I first can't say that I can't do any of this without my team too. Hope's here. She's amazing. If you haven't met her, Alayli as well. So come see us and check us out. There's service cards on if you want to see some of the stuff we do, but call us if you ever have questions too. So I'm going to speed through the couple things that I have to say. I need to...
Sorry, guys, don't pay attention.
What? It was actually planned, right? Because we wouldn't rush a consultation, right? So I'm going to go through just a couple of the things so that we can see a live injection right now and what it actually looks like. So if that creeps you out, you'll just have to look away. So a couple things for me. I just want to point out that this is a prescription medication, right? Neuromodulators or Botox. Not everybody should have the same treatment. If we do that, we're going to get generic dosing, a generic plan, to me, also generic results. So I want you to make sure that you know that everybody has a different face, a different anatomy. We want an individual assessment that's going to give us a thoughtful plan and natural refined results. We can go to the next one.
Are you scoot her closer?
Yeah, you want to just scoot now? Yeah.
My camera only.
What a good assistant. So a couple non-negotiables. That assessment has to happen. It should be specific to you in a consultation that's not rushed. So we have met at our office already to make a plan together so we could breeze through this today. So we have a treatment plan. We've talked about our dosing. We've talked about that transparently too, and that should happen before the treatment actually happens. To me, non-negotiables, before photos, after photos, and a follow-up plan. You should always have that. You can go through your treatment, go through your results, and sometimes you need refinement. My approach today for her is actually going to be conservative, especially with her forehead. It's been a long time. I think she's been treated, once? But I actually expect a refinement on her forehead, but I'm going to maximize what I can do for her brow lift as well. So I will post in WPBA if I need a refinement where it is and what those after photos are as well. But I like to prove that because refinement's not a failure. It is actually understanding that muscles are dynamic and you need to create a relationship, not follow a sale because it's $8 a unit. But make a relationship and really build that perfect outcome and then repeat it. Go ahead. Red flags, pressure to treat immediately. Anybody right now on Botox, right? Consultation that feels rushed, not having a discussion, just kind of coming at somebody and just having dosing. Again, before, after, those photos and follow-up plan, or everybody gets the same amount. That is old in aesthetics. 20 units here, 20 units here. That's not what everybody needs. That's in the past. And a treatment focused on price. If you come to me and you need goals met, and I tell you what you need to meet that, and that's a financial thing that isn't met at the time, then come back when you're ready. I'm not going to just take $200 because you have it today. I'm going to tell you what those expectations are and make a plan. Last part, I don't know who that lady is, but education. Everything should be transparent. It should all be customized to who you are. I'm going to set realistic expectations. Not everybody can have a glass forehead and a brow lift. Sometimes you have to choose those things. So I'm going to give you those, and those are my responsibility to set for you. And stay with safety-focused treatment. I'm not going to treat you too early. I'm going to tell you no when I have to, and making sure that the provider's listening to you and listen to your provider, and make a plan that's specific to you. Your goals, my goal is not to freeze your face, it's to understand it and then reach those goals for you. So everybody deserves that tailored care. Let's go ahead and give it to Chelsea.
Everyone see this? No?
Yes.
Squishy. This is my emotional support squishy. It's not pink. Just one. Yeah. That's why you're. What are we doing here? Yeah, we can see that. Perfect.
I was wondering what the Zoom was for, so I know about this participants. Casey next. Huh? Next. Oh, no, I'm naturally beautiful.
Let's all respect Chelsea in case she's a little nervous. Be quiet. We're going to treat her classic treatment areas, which are going to be the crow's feet in between the eyebrows. We call that the glabellar complex, and her forehead. Again, because just like Carolyn said, when you look good, you feel good, you show up in a room different, and all that's important with everything that we're doing today. I just need you to make a matte face for me real quick. And relax. Big smile. You're good. And then make your matte face one more time. And relax. Don't worry, you don't leave the office with all these marks on you. They're just for safety and education. Everybody should have a mapping and be able to go through those things on what we're gonna do. I do have a line in the middle of her forehead. That's where her line of convergence is of her muscle. We're gonna go ahead and make sure she still lifts, but if we need a refinement, I'll update you guys on those things too. Here's Rosie. Would you like Rosie as well?
Yes, I will.
Perfect. Yes. Rosie's our favorite. She helps us relax. Neurostimulation and distraction. The brain matters when it receives those little pokes. Ready, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Welcome back. Wish we could zoom into the crunch. It's my favorite.
It looks fine.
Yeah, we're pretty zoomed in.
Down.
Let's do it.
Just saying.
Camera.
This makes me want to be next.
Yeah, it does. I think I heard Botox in the back. And I just like to hold it because I protect your other muscles where I don't want it to go.
Jen, are you gonna be hitting all those dots?
I do hit those dots, and I do use different needles. If I use a different needle and you feel like it's a lot, it's actually because I like you. They get dull every time I go in, so if I don't use another needle, then I'm going to hurt you. Okay. Doing great, Chelsea. Thanks. Doing awesome. You feeling okay?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Jen, do you do Botox? Yeah, if you look in the back, my husband. Check out the Instagram, you might recognize that bald guy. It only took him about 6 years of me injecting before he finally said, I think I'm ready. But that's because I won't pressure people, even my husband. He's not ready, he's not ready. And I'll post what I did, or full dosing if anybody cares, but we'll put that on there so everybody can read
It does feel good. Like, Chelsea, you're looking good. Thanks. Concentrate. And Botox is done. So you don't have to go around those black cards. Chelsea has an aftercare card. We've already talked about it, but her do's and don'ts, because we always make sure they leave with this. They don't have to remember it when I talk fast and educate fast. But she'll have a follow-up in the office too, and I'll post her full plan on her Instagram. So when you come check out and get some sunscreen outside with amazing sales today, you can follow us on social media and watch how cool we are. Yeah. Show and tell today.
I love my 1 minute warning. Yeah. All right, you're all set right here. You did it. Oh, that's mine.
Angela, look. Angela.
I'm going to get my gear back from Jen.
Thanks, Jen. Now I gotta follow you.
You only have 15 seconds left.
Yeah, I have to switch up my whole thing, yeah. I'm Dr. Angela Minio, nurse practitioner and owner of Cheval Wellness. I have been in the healthcare field for almost 20 years, and I opened up Cheval Wellness 3 years ago, and I got my doctorate of nursing practice last August. Speech thing about hormones, but that's kind of been covered a lot, so I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I wanted to talk about a testimonial I got from one of my patients last year, and then talk about one of our new programs that we have that I'm focusing on. So last year we had a lady in her upper 50s come in that was complaining of insomnia, anxiety, depression, joint pain, no libido, just all of the symptoms were all severe, extremely severe. And she came in and she got her pellets, and then a month later she came in for her boost, and a lot of her symptoms had improved, but she still had a lot of issues with her libido. So about a month after that, I got an email from her, and she said, "This is a happy email. The booster pellet has been an answer to my prayers that I've had for years. I had accepted that this was just how life would be as a woman in my late 50s. She told me that before treatment, she had absolutely no libido. She and her husband hadn't been intimate for months, and she thought that part of her life was over forever. Then she said, my husband and I both cried. We thought our marriage of 35 years was coming to an end. But after optimizing her hormones, she said they were laughing again, connecting, and enjoying life again." And my favorite line of the whole email was simply, "Wowza." That's all she could say. There's multiple very talented providers in the room that do offer hormone optimization. So if you have any of those symptoms, please connect with one of us. And like we said, even if you've had your labs checked, the lab ranges are just the average of everybody walking around. That doesn't necessarily, everybody walking around, the majority feel like crap. So you don't want to be average like everybody else. So I like to try out all of the programs that we have before I offer them. So when I started Cheval Wellness, our weight loss program, I lost 30 pounds with that. And then with our hormone optimization program, I realized that my testosterone was very low, and that was when I was only 37, and that was causing a lot of the symptoms, the low libido, the mood changes, and especially the fatigue, like wanting to fall asleep at 7 p.m. So now I'm trying out our new program, our new fertility program, fertility optimization, and I will be 40 this year, so that's exciting and fun. So welcome. But diving deep into that, what is great is that with our hormone optimization program, we had a lot of women with PCOS, which has now been renamed polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome. So in the process of optimizing their hormones for PCOS, we had a few that got pregnant without us trying, which is great, because once you can help with the insulin resistance and get their ovulation regulated, it's a lot easier for them to get pregnant. So I was like, why don't we, dive into this a little bit more and help more people, more women get pregnant, more couples. So that is what I've been doing for the last year, is just really diving deep. Before you're 35 for women, your average chance of getting pregnant each cycle when you're trying is about 25%. After age 35, it goes down to about 10 to 15%. And then after 40, it goes down to about 5%. So
That's what I've really been learning a lot about that and helping women get pregnant. It's really exciting to see them achieve that dream. I feel like a lot of us, especially the professional women, kind of put that off for a while and then think it's too late, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's too late. That's it, yeah. So if you know any women or men, we also treat the men in our program as well, because that about 50% of cases are actually related to the men's side of that infertility. So we check all of that and to be able to help you reach your next goal, whether it's feeling better, feeling like a new woman, like the best you've ever felt in your 40s and 50s, or if you want to try to have a baby and get no sleep after that.
I have to say, so hard to hear this thing. I came to you for my hormones, and I think at the time, one of the things that I was most drawn to is the bioidentical hormones. You were so patient and so kind with me, because I'm the type of person that's like, no, I do not accept what my labs say. She's like, but let's talk about this. I'm going to have to understand. And then I'm like, but there's a different way. I don't know. I think it took a while, but we got it dialed in. And I've been so much better ever since. So I really appreciate it.
Of course, I'm glad you feel better. It is, they call it the art of medicine. Like, it does take a little trial and error to find your right dose, but yeah, we make sure that we use the bioidenticals, so they're identical to what your body produces, so you don't get a lot of those side effects that we saw a lot in the past with the synthetics. Thank you.
I want to give our entire panel another round of applause.